stand and fight against the enemy. The weapons they may form, but won't succeed. We already declared the victory. Let the redeemed of the Lord tell the stories. By his grace we are walking testimonies. For thine is the kingdom and the glory. And we'll praise you, Lord, forever because you're holy, yeah.
Man, inshallah, man. Everybody doing out there today, we'd like to welcome you guys to In God We Trust Academy podcast today. And today we're going to be talking about sovereignty. Sovereignty is something that everybody's looking for, is claiming, etc. And today we're just going to let you know exactly what sovereignty is and bring you into a higher perspective. We already kind of touched on this a little bit more, but we're going to go even deeper into this today. It's very important that you truly understand what sovereignty is. And first and foremost, guys, we always give thanks for your time and always joining us and being able to present information to you guys and just to, waking you up and helping you see the reality of what is, right? Right now, we're in the time of revelation where all things are being revealed. So you have to be able to, one, clear your mind today and be able to fully receive what is going to be given to you today. Man, wherever you at right now, drop some ones for us in the chat. Let us know where you're logging in with us at, man, and we give thanks just again for your time. We're going to keep on vibing a little bit longer, and then we're going to get ready to get started, man. Make sure y'all share, man. Like and share with us for us today. Like, share, and subscribe with us today.
Close on Sunday, you my Chick-fil-A. Close on Sunday, you my Chick-fil-A. Hold the selfies, put the gram away. Get your family, y'all hold hands and pray. When you got daughters, always keep them safe. Watch out for vipers, don't let them indoctrinate. Closed on Sunday, you my Chick-fil-A. You're my number one. With the lemonade, raise our sons, train them in the faith through temptations. Make sure they're wide awake. Follow Jesus, listen and obey. No more living for the culture, we nobody's slave. Stand up for my home, even if I take this walk alone. I bow down to the King upon the throne. My life is his, I'm no longer my own. I pray to God that he'll strengthen my hand.
They will think twice stepping onto my land. I draw the line, it's written in the sand. Try me and you will see that I ain't playing. Now, back up off my family, move your hands. I got my weapons in the spirit's land. Jezebel don't even stand a chance. Jezebel don't even stand a chance.
Yeah.
I'm if you tell him about life. I'm on my journey. I'm on my journey. Nothing can hurt me. I'm from the ghetto. Where we had so heavy metal. Yeah. Nothing can stop it. Haters ain't watching. I'm from the ghetto. Where we had so heavy metal. Yeah. Nothing concerns me. I'm on my journey. I'm from the ghetto, yeah. Where we had so heavy metal. I can see it from afar, enemy lurking. Can't stop my purpose. I'm from the ghetto, where we had so heavy metal, yeah.
My heart is like a murder scene. Yellow tape around the hate and I can't let you in. Tunnel vision, try to see it like at the end. I know they hope that I win, yeah. But I'm praying on my knees so I see better days. Hope he break me out my shell, I'm trying to spread my wings. Trying to fly away, do better things. I remember all them days they told me that I can, yeah. Ain't nobody more important me than me. She said she feeling me, but right now I'm just trying to eat. Right now I'm just focused on that chicken. My nigga hit me up, he told me Melly stand on business, yeah. My nigga hit me up, he told me Melly stand on business.
I'm on my journey, nothing can hurt me. I'm from the ghetto, where we had so heavy metal. Yeah, nothing can stop it. Haters ain't watching. I'm from the ghetto, where we had so heavy metal. Yeah, nothing concerns me. I'm on my journey. I'm from the ghetto, yeah. Where we had so heavy metal. I can see it from afar, enemy lurking. Can't stop my purpose. I'm from the ghetto, where we had so heavy metal, yeah.
Coming from the 407, riding on the highway to heaven. Ooh, you better watch out. We shut them down, open up shop. Ooh, yeah. That don't mean they don't play.
All right, peace and love, family. We got some things to share with you guys, man. As you can see right now on the screen, we have MNRP raffle giveaway. We're going to be giving away a car, a Camry 2026. This will be February the 21st, 2026, okay? So in February, this will be taking place, and we're going to have cash prizes as well for the second, third, and fourth place, which is about $500 each. But it's going to be a pop-up shop. So if you are a vendor and you're interested, etc., please do hit us up so that you can be able to set up. And we're going to have a good time, good music, being able to network and things like that, and just give away some cash prizes and just, allow the community to vibe with one another, right? So do be ready for that. Also, we got coming up on the 22nd of this month, 3 p.m. Central Time. We will be online. There will be a class, Mastering Lawsuits. So we're going to teach you how to properly draft and file a lawsuit, building a strong case with the right evidence, and using discovery tools to force the opposition to comply, and winning with strategic motions and trial preparation and more. The donation will be $100. So just make sure that you follow everything that you see on the screen. You can go to InGodWeTrustAcademy.com to make sure that you fully register. And then on the 29th, we're also going to be doing Defend and Conquer, to where if you are the defendant, we're going to teach you how to properly respond to lawsuits, challenging jurisdiction and legal standing, and how to file strategic motions to weaken the other side's case, using discovery tools to force your opponent to prove their claims, and much more, which you also can go and register on InGodWeTrustAcademy.com. So make sure that you log in with us and lock in with us, guys, because it's going to be a lot of information. Yes, there's going to be templates and replays and things like that. If you already been in my class before, you already know how I go. So as always, man, we just give thanks for you guys' participation. But as we move forward, everything that you're going to hear is going to be for educational, religious purposes only, because again, if you're looking for any form of legal advice, seek a legal advisor, as it is my religious duty and experience to teach from my experiences, all right, to you guys today. And man, such an amazing time. Appreciate you guys for logging in. Again, everybody wants to know about sovereignty, so get in here. Get in here right now. All right, so last time we talked about public versus private and things of that nature, which also I dove a little deep into sovereignty, which we read from the Law of Nations, which is also the law of nature. So it's a form of a treaty that has been written by Dave Attell. And you can go and, find that PDF online somewhere for sure. But I'm going to be speaking to you guys about sovereignty today. And I think people don't understand what sovereignty actually is. And it's important that you do, okay? First and foremost, just going back into that particular book again with you guys, is what we're going to be doing, and we're going to start there, and then we're going to go into the constitutions of pretty much all the states, and just speak on those matters as well. Because I don't again, we have to get a grasp of sovereignty. So if you guys are ready out there, man, drop some ones and let me know that you're ready. Drop some ones and hit the share, man. Maybe somebody else needs to hear this as well. Very, very important for you. Very, very, very important. I'm elevated with my team last night, and it's very intriguing, the things that, a continuation of study. I've read this book numerous of times here and there, but just to be able to dive back in it and see a whole lot more in this, and always when you read something else and come from a better understanding and perspective as well, it always going to take you further. All right, so let's go back to a few things, right? Well, during the Dred Scott case, it was said that a black man has no right or law for the white man to respect. And I always say this when it comes to our so-called black people who's been renamed and given so many different identities just based on the fact of not having an identity, right? And identities always start with yourself. You identify. You have the right to self-identify. You have the right to self-determination. You have the right to self-autonomy, which all inclines going back to the law of nature as for self-preservation, right? And that's something that we have to realize, right? We got to know that. And I always say that the so-called black man don't know what he lost in order to know that that's what he is trying to seek and gain. And that's just the absolute truth. And a lot of people, whether you say you're the Israelites, you're the Hebrew, you're the this, or whatever the case may be, the point is, reading throughout the Bible, God has already said that you would have one in Romans 13. It says that every soul pretty much will be subject to a form of government. And in 1 Samuel, the 8th chapter, you see that the people had a government. They lost it because they wanted a foreign. They wanted something a foreigner to be over them in that aspect. And as you read all throughout the Bible, you will see, well, people of Israel, they would have autonomy. They would lose autonomy. They'll regain it back. They'll lose it again. They'll get it back. They'll lose it again. It is a constant state over and over, a constant cycle over and over and over again. Right? Let me know y'all with me. Drop some, hey, drop some zeros in there this time so I can know that y'all understand. Let me see some zeros flying up. This is a constant state, though, over and over and over again throughout the whole entire Bible. And when Moses went to Pharaoh, Moses claimed the people, and he claimed the people as a sovereign people who were their own form of government. And you go back, and when Moses came down with the tablets, that was the law, which was the Constitution, and he told the people the law. So, and that helped form a body of politic. Now, as I showed to you in the Law of Nations, that every man, meaning male and female, we have to form a social compact to reach certain ends of things and of necessity of life that we need. We have to, right? Whether it be for defense, whether it be for economical reasons, whether it be for, food, whatever. It is a reason why we had to do certain things, right? especially even to speed up certain processes. And in this is what you are having to do as individuals. Now, as individuals, the law of nature has given you the freedom of choice, the right to consent, the right to not consent, things of that nature, right? And when you start looking at it from that perspective, it changes things for you. Because now, this is how you know the people have the power, right? The first social compact starts with the people. The people have the right to peaceably assemble. You assemble, right? And then when you assemble for whatever reason, that becomes now, that is the actual first contract. Now, all of your natural, the laws of nature that you are subjected to now passes on to this particular society or body of politics. Okay? So understand that part. So when you see here on this particular page, it says a nation or state is, as has been said at the beginning of this work, a body politic or a society of men united together for the purpose of promoting their mutual safety and advantage by their combined strength. Okay? So from the very design that induces a number of men to form a society which has its common interest and which is to act in concert, it is necessary there should be established a public authority, right? To order and direct what is to be done by each in relations to the end of the association. It says this political authority is the sovereignty, and he or they who are invested with it are sovereign. This key passage right here lets you know who's sovereign. And I think a lot of you think an individual is sovereign, and that's not true. You got it all wrong. It's not true at all. No one individual can be holding as a sovereignty. It's not possible. Okay? It has to deal with, first and foremost, over the beginning of time, man has always assembled and communicated and established what we call law and order, etc. And we did these things to keep from being on the same playing field of the beast, which meaning, you know, like the law of the jungle type thing. We're just not out here murdering, killing, and doing all stuff. Just no, there is order, there is fashion, there is, you know, there is a moral person here. So when you establish a government, and government means to govern the mind, your constitution is literally the consciousness of the people there, which creates a moral person. And every time we say moral person, we're speaking of a body of politic. So think of every individual in this social compact as the cells, the ligaments, the organs, etc., of this particular body. Okay? You have to think of that because everything is built upon the law of nature. And I think you guys, we forgot that. So we have to go back and reinstate ourselves into this position because the political authority is the sovereignty. So if the public authority is the actual Constitution, you see what I'm saying? If the public authority is the Constitution and the Constitution is sovereign, but that's because what? That means that the people have done what? Because remember, a government only has power over the ones who consented to be governed. So if you consented to be governed, you just subjected yourself to that particular social compact of the people, which is the actual Constitution, the laws, etc., right? That becomes the sovereign. So the law is what's sovereign. And those who sit as a political authority, which means that you sit in these particular seats as the head of the state, any form of these particular jobs that you have given right now. But you got to also remember why the people, it starts with the people, because the people is the one who written the Constitution and said, okay, we're going to limit the power of this government, right? So at the same time, where they're limiting the power of the government, they're also subjecting themselves to the government. right? Based off their own cognizance, which means that you decided this particular constitution. You fully agreed to be governed by everything that is being stated within it, right? And each and every individual has that particular choice. Okay? So, just in case you don't know, it says from the very design that induces a number of men, that means male and female, to form a society which has its common interests and which is to act in concert, it is necessary that there should be established a public authority to order and direct what is to be done by each in relations to the end of the association. This political authority is the sovereignty. There you go. And he or they who are invested in it, vesting with it, are the sovereign. So it is evident that by the very act of the civil or political association, each citizen subject himself to the authority of the entire body in everything that relates to the common welfare. The authority of all over each member, therefore, essentially belongs to the body politic or state. But the exercise of that authority may be placed in different hands according as the society may have ordained. So that means you can say the president's supposed to do this, the secretary's supposed to do this, the senate's, et cetera. Like you said, that's what's supposed to happen as the people. Don't forget that. Okay? Now, it says, so if the body of the nation keep in its own hands the empire or the right to command, it is a popular government, a democracy if it is in trust to a certain number of citizens, to a senate if it establishes a aristocratic republic. Finally, if it confide the government to a single person, it becomes a monarchy, right? So basically you have three different laws, three different types of government, right? We're going to skip the four. Every nation that governs itself under what form soever. So it don't even matter. You got the Vatican, which is more of a theocratical form of government. You got monarchy governments. You got, democracies. You got all kind of different forms of government. Understand that. Okay. So, and it says without the dependence on any foreign power is a sovereign state. So what it means to be sovereign is that you govern your people yourself. Okay? Yourself. Now, watch this. Watch what we about to show you. Watch this, right? Because now, here comes the part that you need to know. Okay? Here comes the part that you need to know. And we're going to make sure you know it. I don't know where it went to and why. Let's see if it'll pop back up now. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm going to use different forms of governments. Now, remind you, notice I said the black man has no right or law for the white man to respect. This was said in the Dred Scott case. Understand that. Do not forget that. So this is from Kentucky. I want you to pay attention to what it's saying because everybody likes to say, oh, we're all created equal, free, and independent. Now, listen, watch what it says. Men are equal. No exclusive grant except for public services. So that means the public authority, like we was talking about, the political authority, property not to be exempt from taxation, grants are revocable. So it says all men. Listen to what they're saying. When they form a social compact, are equal. Let's just start right there. So they're letting you know until you form a social compact, until you come together as one, as a unit, as a body of politic, until you establish a moral person, there is no morality in you. This is why you are subjected right now in the United States. And even the Bible talks about this in so many different ways. And you guys are missing the understanding of what it's trying to tell you. So I'm going to read this again because it's clear in here in the Kentucky Constitution. All men, when they form a social compact. So social compact, let's just go back. Let's go back. Let's just go back up here, right? A nation or state, as has been said at the beginning of this work, is a body of politic or society of men united together for the purpose of promoting their mutual safety and advantage by their combined strength. Here you go. Society is a social compact of men. Okay? You're missing this. All of y'all missing this. You got to know. So even when people say they declare their nationality, listen to me, and I want you to look at my face right now. You cannot declare your nationality by your individual self. Number one, nation involves a group of people, not an individual. So all your affidavits on the record individually by yourself doesn't mean shit. I promise. You have to declare yourself as a body of politic and declare your nationality from there. Now, there's two ways that we talk about nationality. One is by soil, and the other is by blood. When you deal with the United States, they declare it by soil because they say, hey, if you were born on this land, you can be considered a United States citizen or what they say, a U.S. national, etc., until you say otherwise. That's the difference. This is the whole entire difference. So that is by soil. Then you have by blood, okay? Which literally means that the people declare their nationality according to their blood, by bloodline. Which has always been before they started getting into this corporate stuff and things of that nature. Right? Understand that. Now, simple thing to know. Did the so-called black man establish United States Corporation? No, you did not. It was literally established to gain its independence from Great Britain. And that was the European people running from the British, which is why they had the war, right? Which is why the United States is also considered a European nation, and they still use those form of treaties in order to do and be in existence of the things they do today. That is a fact. Okay? That is a huge fact. So we ain't done. We ain't done. Oh, we just getting started. Okay? We are just getting started. So let's just go back and let's look at this one more time to put it in your face. If they telling you right here bluntly that all men, when they form a social compact, are equal, and no grant of exclusive, separate, public emoluments or privilege shall be made to any man or set of men, except in consideration of public services. So unless you are operating as the public servants of a government, okay, there is no exemption for you. But no property shall be exempt from taxation except as provided in this Constitution. Every grant of franchise, privilege, or exemption shall remain subject to the revocation, alteration, or amendment. Now, look at this. Absolute. This also Kentucky, right? Absolute and arbitrary power denied. Absolute and arbitrary power over the lives, liberty, and property of free men exists nowhere in a republic. See, they're telling you again. Not even in the largest majority. So they're speaking of a social compact. And when they talk about free men, and when they say free men, these free men are in a social compact operating as a government. That's another thing. So absolute and arbitrary power means that you're not subject to statutes and of other forms of countries, etc., when you already have your own law. And they can't even recognize you as a government or anything like that until you show that you have morality, a moral person. meaning that you have a constitution, you have a state of consciousness, you have justice there. It's what they want to know, and that you can uphold the justice, even with your own people first. So if you tired of marching with sticks and hollering, no justice, no peace, listen, it ain't gonna be no justice. It ain't gonna never be no peace for you until you learn to form a social compact and be free men and become part of the family of nations all over the earth. Black man, again, who has no rights or law for the white man to respect, as that was said in the Dred Scott case. Drop some ones if you hear me right now. I need to know you hear me. Because this is what you lack. Remember, y'all, they don't give a damn about y'all partying, doing all the making all that. They don't care about none of that. What they do care about is when you're going to get yourself in line like the rest of the world. When you going to do that? When you're going to get yourself together? It matters. Yes, it matters. Okay? It matters. Now, let's go look at Arkansas. Arkansas says all men are created equally, free and independent. In order to be free means you have formed your own social compact and have certain inherent and inalienable rights, amongst which are those of enjoying and defending life and liberty. You cannot do that without a government. Possessing and protecting property. You can't do that without a government. And reputation. And of pursuing their own happiness. Your own happiness is to the extent that you have established yourself and your constitution for your people. That's what it means to be in the pursuit of your own happiness. To secure these rights, governments, look, it tell you, to secure these rights, they're telling you, governments are instituted among men. Where's your government? Where's it at? Deriving their just powers from what? The consent of the governed. I think you're starting to see. You're starting to see it now. Now just think about the Bible. Just think about what happened in the Bible. Think about the people of Israel. Think about every time they had their own government, and think about every time they lost it. And every time they lost it, they went into what? Slavery, being subjected to other foreign countries, etc. Is that not the same exact thing that happened to you, so-called black men? Come on, tell me. Is that not the same thing? Source of power, all political power. Listen, all political power is inherent in the people and government. Where's your government? It is instituted for their protection. Listen, there is no protection without a government. There is no security without the government. There is no benefit without the government. And they have the right to what? Alter, reform, or abolish the same in such matter as they may think proper. I keep saying, if you don't like the way the United States, etc., is treating you, then abolish it and start your own. What's your problem? What you waiting on? Everybody's begging. You don't beg for freedom. You be it. You take it. You wake up. No, freedom is never given, it's taken. I promise. But it's taken here in your mind, in your heart. You take it. You go and be. The United States took theirs, literally saying, hey, we're willing to give me liberty or give me death, but we will go to war to be free. But you're already free when you make that decision, because you already decide in your pursuit of happiness and in your own fate that you are already free. You are independent. But y'all afraid of that, though. You better wake up. And I always say this now, if we're speaking on it now, that's because the time is now. It's time for it to happen now. And you're going to get to a point to where if you don't do it, I promise you, you're going to be behind. And it's not going to be good for you because God is opening the doors for you and say, hey, your time is now. When the messengers approach and they tell you, oh, you better take heed. You better listen. You better listen. They're telling you right in your face. And here's the thing. Every last one of these state constitutions says it. Number one, because it's part of the international law, as I just read. So I'm going to go through a few of them, but then we're going to go right back and start reading some more things about the international law, because I want you to truly understand sovereignty is only in a government. Sovereignty is only in a social compact of a government within itself. But you got to realize the things that was placed, that was placed upon you by the law of nature. And when you form a social compact, it is now being placed upon the actual government, the society. So now that's why they consider it a moral person. So now a government is a person, right? And they call it a body, a political body, a body of politics. And it has to be, right? We can just start with Alabama here since we here. Equality and rights of men, that all men are equally free and independent. Every time they say free and independent, they're talking about a government, that they are endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They all say it. People is the source of power, that all political power is inherent in the people, and all free governments, listen, free governments, they're telling you, what you gonna do about it, are founded on their authority and instituted for their benefit, and that therefore they have at all times an inalienable, indefeasible right to change their form of government in such manner as they may deem expedient. Man, don't run, y'all. A lot of y'all are running already. He talking crazy. No, I'm showing you. If you're scared, say you're scared. They say if you're scared, go to church. I'm telling you now, if you're scared, don't come to church. Don't come. Stay where you at. We don't got time for you. Yeah, let's go look at Alaska. Simple. Man, they putting it all in y'all face. Declaration of Rights. Right? This Constitution is dedicated to the principles that all persons, persons means governments, have a natural right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, and the enjoyment of the rewards of their own industry. They're talking about government. You have the right to your own governments. That all persons are equal, entitled to equal right. They're talking about the government. All government. Your government are equal and entitled to equal rights, opportunities, and protection under the law. And that all persons have corresponding obligations to the people and to the state. All political power is inherent in the people. All government originates with the people and is founded upon their will only, and is what? Instituted solely for the good of the people as a whole. No person is denied enjoyment of civil or any political right. So when they talk about political, they're saying your government. Because of race, color, creed, sex, or national origin, the legislature shall implement this section right. So what they're saying is it doesn't matter your race, color, creed, sex, or national origin. You have the right to have a government. Got that right. You got that right. Question is, what you gonna do with it? Now that you know, you got to do something. Let's go look at Arizona. Just going to go down the line. I mean, they're all going to tell you the same thing. Declaration of Rights. A frequent recurrence to fundamental principle is essential to the security of individual rights and the perpetuity of free government. Again, free government. Now let's take us back to this, because they tell it to you so bluntly. All men, when they form a social compact, are equal. What did that make you feel? How does that make you feel? All men, when they form a social compact, are equal. So you're not equal until you do this. You do know that, right? You're not free. You're not independent. You don't have rights. You don't have any of that. This is a fact. Wake up. Either you get it or you don't. But you better wake up. Watch this. This is Missouri Constitution. That all constitutional government, so that means you got to have a constitution, is intended to promote the general welfare of the people, that all persons have a natural right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Okay? And the enjoyment of the gains of their own industry, that all persons are created equal and are entitled to equal rights and opportunity under the law. So they telling y'all, when they say persons, they're talking about government. They talk about peoples. Notice they're making a difference between people and persons. People is the people. When you come together, you form a moral person. All right, I'm going to show you that too. That all persons are created equal and are entitled to equal rights and opportunity under the law. That to give security to these things is the principal office of government. They just told you. So in order for you to have all of this that's in there, there has to be a government. And that when government does not confer this security, it fails in its chief design. So therefore, if there's not a government there to confer this security, you're failing. You're failing. You're failing, people. Man, can you understand why you're being why are you being punished and stuff for so long? Why does it seem like it's always not your way? When you go and you look at sentences and stuff like that, that they're sentencing their own, different than you. Same for the same crime. And there ain't shit you can do about it. Think about that. Yeah, we got to think about what we got going on here, people. This is your problem. This is something that you have to fix. And y'all talking about what Trump doing. No, what is you doing? Because you're the one that has already failed yourself. You're the one who forgot about self-preservation, what deals with self-autonomy. And then just like you not having what you're saying, it's also like you not having a God. Not having a nation is a disgrace to God. Not coming and governing yourself is a disgrace to God. You need to know that. It's like saying you don't have a God. It's like you saying you are lawless. And a lawless group of people are not favored by God. I'm going to say this again. A lawless group of people are not favored by God. Yeah. Now, it says right here, nations being composed of men naturally free and independent. So think about all those constitutions I just read to you. And who before the establishment of civil society lived together in a state of what? Nature. Nations or sovereign states are to be considered as so many free persons living together in the state of nature. They're telling you. You better do something, right? And that all men inherit from nature a perfect liberty and independence, of which they cannot be deprived without their own consent. In the state, the individual citizens do not enjoy the fully and absolutely because they have made a what? Partial surrender to the sovereign, which is, as we spoke earlier, the public authority. But the body of the nation, the state, remains absolutely free. So they just told you that a state, a nation, is what's absolutely free. Okay? Pay attention. They told you right here, specifically. Now, what you're going to do about it is totally up to you. And I know for sure a lot of people are going to run from this because guess what? The Bible already been shown that, well, you've been running from this. You've been running from this. And we can't keep doing this. You can't expect freedom. You can't expect justice. And I always say that this is my quote of what I say. Justice is only given to those who are willing to uphold the law. And if you're not willing to carry the law, then justice is not yours to decide, give, any shape, form, or fashion. Now, what do you think about that? It's not yours to give, family, none whatsoever. So nobody's out here screaming, give me justice, because they have a state established to give themselves justice. You want equality? Start a government. You can't scream about equality and you don't have your own government. I'm showing it to you. If you want to deny it, go right ahead. It's totally up to you. And if you don't like it, the one that you are in, and it tells you to abolish it. Start a new one. Right? Can't do it. Man is so formed by nature that he cannot supply all his own wants, but necessarily stands in the need of the intercourse and assistance of his fellow creatures, which is why we have to assemble, which is why you have to associate, whether for his immediate preservation or for the sake of perfecting his nature and enjoying such a life as is suitable to a rational being. This is sufficiently proved by experience. We have instances of persons who have grown up to manhood among the bears of the forest and enjoyed not the use of speech or of reasons, but were like the brute beasts possessed only of sensitive faculties. Where we see, moreover, that nature has refused to bestow on men the same strength and natural weapons of defense which she has furnished other animals, having in lieu of those advantages endowed mankind with the faculties of speech and reason, or at least the capability of acquiring them by an intercourse with their fellow creatures, right? Speech enables them to communicate with each other, to give each other mutual assistance, to perfect their reason and knowledge, and having thus become intelligent, they find 1,000 methods preserving themselves and supplying their wants. So God created us to need one another, if you didn't know that. Each individual, moreover, is intimately conscious that he can neither live happily nor improve his nature without the intercourse and assistance of others. Since, therefore, nature has thus formed mankind, it is a convincing proof of her intention that they should communicate with and mutually aid and assist each other. Man. I just don't know what else to say. It's there. They know this. Now I want you to think about the rest of the world. Black man who has no law or right for the white man to respect. Look at the rest of the world. And now look at yourself here in what they call the United States, North America. Look at yourself today. You have nothing. You don't even have your own community set up in any shape, form, or fashion. You go everywhere. You see Germantown, Korea, well, all that stuff as well. And then a lot of these things a lot of these companies are owned by these particular governments as well. Just like China had a corporation in Mississippi doing farming, even though they got kicked out. That's my point, though. And they make sure they keep you separate to not be able to do this because, oh, the power that you will have when you truly understand and gain your power. But you gotta get back in line to be amongst the family of nations. Because if you're not, it's already over. Right? It's already over. It's already over for you. So let's read this. Read this part, and then we're going to go back over some more states for you. The Universal Society of the Human Race being an institution of nature herself. Again, the Universal Society of the Human Race being an institution of nature herself. That is to say, a necessary consequence of the nature of man. All men, in whatever stations they are placed, are bound to cultivate it and discharge its duties. They cannot liberate themselves from the obligation by any convention, by any private association. When therefore they unite in civil society for the purpose of forming a separate state or nation, they may indeed enter into particular engagements towards those with whom they associate themselves, but they remain still bound to performance of their duties towards the rest of mankind. All the difference consists in this, right? And that having agreed to act in common and having resigned their rights and submitted their will to the body of the society in everything that concerns their common welfare, it thenceforward belongs to their body and that state and its rulers to fulfill the duties of humanity towards strangers in everything that no longer depends on the liberty of individuals. And it is the state, more particularly, that is to perform those duties towards other states. We have already seen in subsection 5. Watch what they say. The men united in society remain subject to the obligations imposed upon them by human nature. That society is considered as a what? Moral person. Since possessed of an understanding, volition, and strength peculiar to itself, it therefore obliged to live on the same terms with other societies or state as individual man was obliged before those establishments to live with other men. Now, let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. Now that you know that when you form a social compact, that compact becomes a what? Person. So people form persons. All constitutional government is intended to promote the general welfare of the people, that all persons. So now you know when you see persons, it's talking about the government. The government, the social compact of a government of free men have a natural right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and the enjoyment of the gains of their own industry. And that all persons, there you go again, are created equal. All governments are created equal and are entitled to equal rights and opportunity under law. Because if we have to be true and be really honest, everybody's not created equally. Some people are missing certain limbs. Some people don't have special talents and gifts as others, etc. But as a whole social compact of people coming together to form a society, then you're created equal. Drop some ones if you with me. Let me know before we continue on. Let me know, man. Because we're supposed to be on our journey, yo.
I'm on my journey.
Y'all gonna learn what sovereignty really is today.
I'm on my journey. Nothing can hurt me. Can't hurt me. I'm from the ghetto. Where we had so heavy metal. Yeah. Nothing can stop me. Haters ain't watching. I'm from the ghetto.
Get yourself together out here, family.
Nothing concerns me. I'm on my journey.
That's all I need y'all to know. So when you seeing, persons in the Constitution, boy, they telling you. Governments is what they talking about. Free, independent people. You have these protected rights of in the Constitution as well. You gotta know this. Gotta know this, family. Don't let them trick you out of your spot, as we say. You've been tricked. And it's not hard to see what needs to be done. But the question is are you going to get yourself in line to do it? Right? Because we have to. All you got to do is go back. Go pick up your Bibles again. If you ain't, go read them. We like to hear all the, prosperity and this and that. But listen, man, prosperity and all of that was given to the states, governments, people. Yeah. That's what you got to understand. Given to the people. Understand that. You got to know that, man. If the rights of a nation spring from its obligation, it is principally from those that relate to itself. It will further appear that its duties toward others depend very much on its duty towards itself, as the former are to be regulated and measured by the latter, as we are then to treat of the obligations and rights of a nation. And attention to order requires that we should begin by establishing what each nation owes to itself. The general and fundamental rule of our duties toward ourselves is that every moral being ought to live in a manner conformable to his nature. Okay? Nature is a being determined. A nation is a being determined by its essential attributes. Okay? That has its own nature. Listen. And can act in conformity to it. There are then actions of a nation as such wherein it is concerned in its national character and which are either suitable or opposite to what constitutes it a nation. So that it is not a matter of indifference whether it performs some of those actions and omit others. In this respect, the law of nature prescribes its certain duties. Okay? We shall see in this first book what conduct a nation ought to observe in order that it may not be wanting itself. Listen to what it's telling you, black man who has no right or law for the white man to respect. You want everybody to do something for you, and it by nature says you have to do this for yourself. If this is what you want, you got to do it for yourself. And everything that we're reading is self-preservation. Now, I know there are other national groups of people, whether you're European or whatever the case may be. And that's why I said that if you don't like the government that you're in today, abolish it, start a new one. It's just your freedom of choice. Otherwise, keep going along with the gang and accepting everything that's going on with it. Totally up to you. But I'm speaking to the actual ones who are out of order right now. And it's you, black man. You're out of order. Nobody owes you a damn thing. Nobody owes you equality when you're not willing to establish the things that you want for yourself. Right? He who no longer exists can have no duties to perform, and a moral being is charged with obligations to himself, only with a view to his perfection and happiness. For to preserve and to perfect his own nature is the sum of all his duties himself. Man, the preservation of a nation consists in the duration of the political association by which it is formed. If a period is put to this association, the nation or state no longer subsists, though the individuals that compose it still exist. The perfection of a nation is found in what renders it capable of obtaining the end of civil society. And a nation is in a perfect state when nothing necessary is wanting to arrive at the end. We know that the perfection of a thing consists generally in the perfect agreement of all it constitute parts to tend the same end. A nation being a multitude of men united together in civil society. If in that multitude all conspire to attain the end proposed in forming a civil society, the nation is perfect. And it is more or less so, according as it approaches more or less to that perfect agreement. In the same manner, its external state will be more or less perfect, according as it occurs with interior perfection of the nation. So they're telling you guys. Right? Listen. Up to you. Now let's take us back over here. I'm gonna keep putting this in your face till you get it. You swear that you're equal. No, you're not. All men, when they form a social compact, are equal. Do you get it now? What y'all say, chat? Do you get it now? Do you understand now, chat? Do you get what's being said to you now? I was watching this one, it was a video recording of basically a white Caucasian man who was an officer of the state and a bunch of so-called black people marching because they were mad because they weren't allowed to come up to the actual courthouse and all of that stuff. And he told them, hey, this is our shit. Go start your own. Go do your own. Go get your own. And they got offended. They were pissed, mad. And it still goes back to 1 Samuel. When they said, hey, we want a king, which means that you want to be governed by somebody else when you were already governing your damn self. That's what that means. We want somebody to go out here and fight our own wars. He said, okay, hold up. If you want somebody to be over you, when the law of nature says that you are to preserve yourself, but you want somebody to preserve for you, they're going to treat you like a redheaded stepchild. Pretty much, in those words, to sum it up. Yeah, they're going to step all over you. They're going to step all over you. And it has happened to you numerous of times. It is being showed to you daily, every single day. So they telling you right in your face that if you don't establish a social compact here, you're not equal. So stop looking for equality. And then here in Missouri, and I go to different ones because they all express it. Some go deeper than others. We're gonna go to Virginia and watch what Virginia say. But they all express it in a different manner as well. But they're still all saying the exact same thing. Because they all are coming from the law of nations. So they expect that you know when you read this that they are in line with the law of nature, the law of nations. So it says that all constitutional government is intended to promote the general welfare of the people, that all persons. So every time you see that person, that's their government. So I'm just going to say governments. All free governments have a natural right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, and the enjoyment of the gains of their own industry, and that all governments are created equal and are entitled to equal rights and opportunity under the law. What they talking about when they said the law? The law that everybody's bound to, the law of nature. That to give security to these things is the principal office of government. So you cannot give security to equality or any of that shit until you establish a social compact. And that when government does not confer this security, it fails in its chief design. So all I got to say is this, black man and woman, do you know what you're missing now? Do you understand what you are missing? Oh, you don't? Well, I know we are very forms of religious people. So since we are, I'm going to take you to the word. We're going to take you to the word. Yeah, let's go to the word. And it came to pass yeah, we're going to go to the word. Let's go to the word. Somebody said, so basically, if they don't act like puppies, they're not equal. Obviously, you do not get it. Grace Journeyman, you do not get it, none whatsoever. None. That's not what it's saying. See, I don't even think you understand what freedom. The law of nature says you have to self-preserve yourself. Number one is this. When you look at people, all people are not the same, for one. We're not all, our DNA is not even all the same. Certain DNAs are different from others, et cetera, by groups of people, et cetera. Yes, that is a fact. Your natural design is different. Okay? By nature, just like there are different birds, there's different people. Just like there's different type of ants, there's different people. Yes, people is people, but people are different by nature. Understand that. Kind of, sort of, but no, Kingdom Young. Because you can still establish a religion, et cetera, up under a particular government and still not be independent. That's another thing. Let me keep going. And it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his sons judges over Israel. Now the name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of his second was Abiah, and they were judges in Beersheba, and his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside after Luke, and took bribes and perverted judgment. Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel unto Ramah, and said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto the Lord, and the Lord said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people in all that they say unto thee. For they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them. Now, when God said that I should not reign over them, he's saying that, hey, the law of nature has given you the right to self-preserve. It's not even about missing the trust. You're missing your people. The Constitution is a trust, but I'm going to get back to that. Now, the point of this, they're removing themselves to be under self-preservation, right? And it says, according to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and served other gods, so do they also unto thee. Now therefore hearken unto their voice, howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them, and shew them the manner of the king that shall reign over them. So he's like, hey, show them what's going to happen when they don't preserve themselves. And Samuel told all the words of the Lord unto the people that asked of him a king. And he said, this will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. So since you not going to preserve your damn self, he will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots, and to be his horsemen, and some shall run before his chariots. And he will appoint him captains over thousands and captains over 50s, and will set them to ear his ground, to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war, instruments of his chariots. And he will take your daughters to be confectionaries, and to be cooks, and to be bakers. And he will take your fields, your vineyards, your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants. And he will take the tenth of your seed and your vineyards and give to his officers and his servants. He will take your men servants and your maid servants and your goodliest young men and your asses and put them to his work. He will take the tenth of your sheep, and ye shall be his servants. And ye shall cry out in that day because of your king, which ye shall have chosen you, and the Lord will not hear you in that day. It kind of reminds me that y'all screaming out here, hey, Trump's doing this, or Biden did this, or whoever did this. And it's like, okay, bro, why y'all not doing what y'all supposed to be doing? You supposed to preserve yourself. So now you out here screaming, and God not going to hear you. God's not hearing nothing y'all talking about. Nothing. You the one who didn't follow through with, as every other nation has all around the world. You're not preserving yourself. Not at all, right? You're not preserving yourself, right? So now, let's go read this. Romans 13 says this. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power resisteth the ordinance of God, and they shall resist. And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. So have you resist establishing your government? You did. So now reap it. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Without then not be afraid of the power. Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. So, are you afraid to be rulers? Why did the people ask for a king when they could have just been rulers for themselves? Were they afraid of the power? Right? For he is the minister of God. Okay? To thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid. For he beareth not the sword in vain, for he is the minister of God, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. Wherefore ye must need be subject, not only for wrath, but also for conscience sake. So, you have to be subject for conscience sake. Create a government which creates the moral person to uphold justice, the security, the defense, the pursuit of happiness. All belongs to a free government. Man, y'all thought y'all was gonna come in here and hear some UCC 1 and da-da-da-da. Y'all thought y'all was gonna hear all that today, didn't y'all? I know you did. Y'all thought y'all was finna come hear it. I'm not necessarily gonna say Martin Luther King made it worse. But it did happen. You can go read the rest of that for yourself, but just read the Bible. I mean, it's in there. Shoot, you see they start worshiping other gods, and start worshiping, going into other governments, leaving their own, being a part of those governments, and then they became punished for those things. Right? They got punished. It's a fact. Let me put it in y'all face again. Just so y'all remember. All men, when they form a social compact, are equal. So you have to understand the white citizens are the ones who established the United States, not the blacks. Because the blacks were not even a part of it when they started it. They actually gave you privileges by establishing the 14th Amendment. And you still a subject. So that's why they say when you ask for equality, how can they give you equality? They can't give you equality. It's not possible. They can't. There's no way they can give it to you. You didn't do what God told you to do. I mean, even the ants preserve themselves. Even all living creatures do. They have their own form of government and how they govern themselves according to their nature and being. If you think I'm lying, I obviously you've been living long enough and you ain't paid attention to nature, that which you are and everything around you, you haven't paid attention. Come on, man. Come on. Get right. Get right. You can't run from this. You can't run from this. You keep saying they were slaves, but they had a whole freaking war to be independent. Is my point. Like, you're looking at it from a different perspective. Like, clear y'all mind right now. Despite whatever you heard or know. Point is, you don't got a damn government to even be considered to be equal. Look what they said right now. Let's just go to that. 1, this is in Virginia, that all men are by nature equally free and independent and have certain inherent rights of which they enter into a... Man, I'm done. I can't keep... I could keep saying this over and over again, yo, but it's there. And this is what I'm saying. All men are by nature equally free and independent and have certain inherent rights of which when they enter in a state of society, they cannot by any compact deprive or divest their posterity, namely the enjoyment of life, liberty with the means of acquiring and possessing property and pursuing and obtaining happiness and safety. Do y'all understand exactly what I am saying? I ain't even saying it. This is what they saying. Then they said, all power is invested in the people and consequently derived from the people, that magistrates are the trustees and servants at all times amenable to them. Now it goes, government instituted for common benefit. That government is or ought to be instituted for the common benefit, protection, and security of the people, nation, or community of all various modes and forms of government. Man, that is best which is capable of producing the greatest degree of happiness and safety. This is the same exact stuff I just read from you from the Law of Nations. And is most effectually secured against the danger of maladministration. And whenever any government shall be found inadequate or contrary to these purposes, a majority of the community have a indubitable, inalienable, and indefeasible right to reform, alter, or abolish it in such manner as shall be judged most conducive to the public will. Man. I told y'all, man. I told my people last night, we elevated. I said, we elevated. We elevated. Hope y'all get it. Hope you understand. Hope you understand. They telling you. They putting it in your face. Let's just pick one. Let's just pick one. Let's go. Let's see what Wisconsin say. See how they worded it. Whew. Oh, me. Equal protection. See, all people are born equally free and independent and have certain inherent rights. Among these are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. To secure these rights, governments are instituted, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. The fact that there is no mandatory release date for persons convicted of first-degree murder as there is for other crime does not amount to denial of equal protection. Boy. Man, legislative classification violate equal protection only if they are irrational or arbitrary. Man, any reasonable basis for the classification validates the statute. There is a 5-point test to determine reasonableness. There is a meaningful distinction between governmental employees and non-governmental employees. The statutory strike ban imposed on public employees is based upon a valid classification, and the legislation creating it is not unconstitutional as a denial of equal protection. Still saying the same thing. They go in here deep too. This is a lot. Good luck with y'all Constitution. Oh, me. Just how they even got it worded in there. It's different, but still saying the same thing. Still saying the same thing. Still saying the same thing. Only the moral persons, only the government has a right to travel. Yeah. Not individuals. Individuals have a privilege to travel given by the government. But the actual government itself, the moral person, which that's what you're supposed to have, has the right to travel freely abroad, all over the earth, anywhere. You can't even use the Declaration of Human Rights without absolutely using or speaking on about governments. Another thing. Man, let's just pick let's see what Montana got to say. Montana. Ooh, do. All right, that's their preamble. And compact with the United States. Popular sovereignty. All political power is vested and derived from the people. All government of right originates with the people and is founded upon their will only and is instituted solely for the good of the whole. Self-government. The people have the exclusive right of governing themselves as free, sovereign, and independent state. There you go. They may alter or abolish the constitutional form of government whenever they deem it necessary. All persons are born free and have certain inalienable rights. They said persons. So they saying all governments are born free. Get it? Do you get it now? Remember, governments are moral persons. So all persons, all governments are born free and have certain inalienable rights. They include the right to a clean and healthful environment and the rights of pursuing life basic necessities, enjoying, defending their lives and liberties, acquiring, possessing, and protecting property, and seeking their safety, health, and happiness in all lawful ways. In enjoying these rights, all persons recognize corresponding responsibilities. You as an individual cannot own land, but guess what? A government can. For its people. You want to scream reparations? Get a government. They can't give reparations to a people who are not a government. It's not possible. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? The dignity of the human being is violable. No person shall be denied the equal protection of laws. They're saying no government shall be denied the equal protection of laws. Neither the state nor any person, foreign corporation, or institution shall discriminate against any person, any government in the exercise of his civil or political rights on account of race, color, sex, cultural, social origin or condition, or political or religious ideas. Mm-hmm. Seriously. Now, you ain't got to look at me so crazy when I tell you, I already done it. Articles of National Sovereignty, Constitution for More National Republic of Peace, established June the 19th, 2020, amended February the 16th, 2025. That means we had the what? The right to reform our own government. Did we do that? Yes, we did. For our purposes. Yeah. We, the people of Moorish National Republic of Peace, as direct descendants of the Moroccan Empire, recognize our divine right to self-governance, religious sovereignty, and national independence. We established this Constitution of the Moorish National Republic of Peace as a lawful Moroccan government in exile, preserving the unbroken lineage of Moorish sovereignty beyond the current Kingdom of Morocco, because we're not them. As Moroccan nationals, we assert our inherent sovereignty and declare the MNRP is a sovereign theocratic state, governed by divine law, ancestral customs, and Moroccan jurisprudence. We recognize no authority over our people but that of our Creator in our own supreme religious government. This Constitution reaffirms our standing as a self-governing nation free from all foreign statutes, commercial jurisdiction, and colonial impositions. We stand as a nation among nations, foregoing a path for our people through justice, peace, divine law, national self-determination. With this declaration, we renew our covenant with our Creator and affirm that we are one nation, one government, and one people, inseparable and indivisible. Simple. So guess what? We have a moral person, and that moral person is called Moorish National Republic of Peace. Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely. MNRP is a sovereign Moroccan government continuing the unbroken legacy of Moroccan sovereignty. We're independent in a theocratic state. Why? Because most of our whole law is our religion itself. You don't got to do an ancestry. You already know who the freak you are. See, there is no ancestry involved with the United States. They did it based upon, we did ours by blood. You got the right to form any type of government you want. Nobody says you have to do it exactly like we do it or based on ancestry. It could just be based upon the common cause of you and a social group of people coming together, and now you're going to do it by based upon common defense. You can do it by soil. Simple. It's simple. This is a whole moral person. We have public laws. That means that we are a sovereign authority that fully governs ourselves. Right? We just established our courts. Well, reestablished it, amended it. Court of Justice. Code of Ethics for our Chief Justice, Associate Justice, and jurists. Also, Republic Rules and Criminal Procedures. Republic Rules and Civil Procedures. Can you govern yourself? Can you do it? This is a moral person. The Constitution itself is the trust. It's its own trust. It's a separate trust from the United States, for one. Not only that, this is the conscience of this moral person. Right here in y'all face. We got our creed, we got our national flag, etc. We have it all. We're not done. We're still going. We still got a lot more other laws to vote in because I just reformed our whole entire government for a specific reason. One, because of the necessity to do certain things in a certain type of way that I wanted to do, and it better fits us. So now, that's why you see this tag. Yep. The government has a right to travel. Yes. It means a group of people, GNV. You're absolutely right. The government has liberty, a right to freely travel. Individuals by themselves, you got a privilege. But this government, you have a right. It's a fact. This represents a nation. This flag represents a nation of people who have created a social compact to govern and preserve themselves to the fullness thereof in pursuit of our happiness. That's the reason why I told you guys the other day, like, I teach stuff to you guys in a way to your understanding, but how I operate, I'm showing you. We operate on the highest level, is the international level. And the only way to operate on the international level is through a moral person, which is a government. Again, black man, you have no law or right for the white man to respect. That's what they said in the Dred Scott case. And it's all because all men, when they form a social compact, are equal. But if you knew this, you wouldn't be out there saying, we want equality. We want equal rights. That's what you want. No, Nicole. I'm going to ask you this. You say you got a Crest last name, etc. Where's your government? Where's the Constitution to show that you are a moral person? that you uphold justice, because people are traveling all around the world. What happens if they get into your territory? How do we know that you are going to be moral? How will we know that our people are going to have equal protection when it comes to justice, when it comes to your government? How do we know that? What have you established for us to see that? Because remember, it's written and it has to be written. This is the thing. What are you going to do? And see, y'all keep forgetting. Go back and watch all these old movies and stuff like that. Go back and watch them. Go back and watch just a lot of the old stuff, man. Where they're during the times of the Vikings and all of that was happening, and all these different laws that they had or different territories. See what I'm saying? And this is another thing though, because I don't want y'all to think that this is an easy task. It's trust me, I promise you, this is not easy. So I don't want you thinking that you yourself and your family, a few family members who have no idea about any of this, that's just gonna go start this. It ain't gonna happen like that easy. It's not. It takes a lot of thought put into this. To even write the Constitution, it's and we wrote that ourselves. Yes, you have to shine black. We had to do this. We had our laws, and we still got over 30, 40 something laws to vote on now. That we got all of March. We still got some to vote on. Probably be going all the way up until the summer until we done, because we are in a matter of reformation, because it's so much that you have to do to be in fully aligned across the board with every other family of nations, because they just want to know that their people are going to be treated the same or righteously when they come into your territory, or they, people travel. People might want to come to once you got your cities or your community set up, and they might come specifically in your place to use whatever, services or et cetera that your people may offer, especially that they might only can come from you. But this is not easy. I want to tell you that. And you're going to be tested. Yes, you will be tested, because a lot of people don't know this. This is why I say nobody can declare a nationality as an individual. Nobody. It takes a group of people, a government, to declare your nationality. Right? Takes a government. But again, this is why I say this is what the man. See, listen to what you're saying, Favor John. How would my laws be a part of a 501c? That would literally means I'm subject to the statutes and codes of the United States. No, I just specifically read to you that we're not a part of any foreign. No foreign government has any power over us, none whatsoever. We only consented to be governed by Moorish National Republic of Peace. We just created a moral person. And it is the duty of our government to protect the people at all costs. Not theirs. Not us going in with an attorney. No. Any of that. It's our government itself. Here it is again. Here it is again. Let's get into it. All men are by nature free and independent and have certain inherent inalienable rights, among which are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. To secure these rights and the protection of property, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the government, of the governed, Now, it just talked about people up here establishing government instituted to secure the rights. And here in section 2, it says no person. The person that they're speaking of is a government. No government shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process law, nor be denied equal protection of these laws. Simple. They telling you that. Because everybody's supposed to belong somewhere. Everybody's supposed to belong somewhere. Mm-hmm. We're going to do one more and I'm going to read something else to y'all. Let's go to, let's see, let's do South Carolina. South Carolina. Declaration of Rights. Political power in the people. All political power is vested and derived from the people only. Therefore, they have a right at all times to modify their form of government. Right? And they telling y'all all up in here. The privilege and immunities of citizens of this state and the United States under this Constitution shall not be abridged, nor shall any person, meaning government, be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall any person, government, be denied the equal protection of the laws. You know what I'm saying? Well, this is what Kentucky say. This is why I've been showing y'all. All men which they form a social compact are equal when they form a social compact. So until you do this, you're not equal. And they telling you that. So take that in consideration. Literally. Stop playing with yourself. All right. This is from the letter of Secretary of State. I want you, Moors, to listen to what's being said here. There are, strictly speaking, no Moroccan laws relating to citizenship of Moorish subjects in Morocco. The fundamental laws of this non-Christian country are based entirely upon the Islamic code, no part of which treats of the subject of citizenship. There are, however, numerous treaties and conventions between the various Christian countries and the Moorish Empire, by means of which citizenship in this country is defined. But as I understand from the above acknowledged instruction that it is not the desire of the department to call for a report upon such lines, I will therefore confine these remarks to general conditions existing, which may possibly be of some use in connection with the information desired. Citizenship in Morocco may be said to be governed by the laws pertaining to the same in other countries, with the exception that all persons residing in Morocco who cannot prove foreign citizenship or protection are considered ipso jure as Moorish subjects. So by law, they are Moorish subjects. Now it says this: Moorish subjects lost their nationality. You lost your nationality only by becoming naturalized in or protected by another country having treaty relations with the Moorish Empire. Well, the United States has a treaty relation with the Moorish Empire, and you were naturalized Moors into the United States as Black, Indian, African American, Negro, etc. Do I need to keep going? It was established by the Convention of Madrid, concluded July the 3rd, 1880, as follows. any subject of Morocco who has been naturalized in a foreign country. Right? And who shall return to Morocco shall, and says you can return to Morocco after having remained for a length of time equal to that which shall be regularly necessary for him to obtain such naturalization. Now you got a choice to choose between entire submission to the laws of the empire and the obligations to quit Morocco. Which one you gonna do? Unless it shall be proved that his naturalization in a foreign country was obtained with the consent of the government of Morocco. Foreign naturalization heretofore acquired by subjects of Morocco, according to these rules established by the laws of each country, shall be continued to them as regards all its effects without any restriction. The above ruling has never yet been acted upon, and should this at any time be contemplated seriously, a large number of naturalized people, they telling you when this happens, they know you're going to wake up one day and you're going to establish your own, and then you're going to declare your nationality in your governments that you have created. And American and others residing in Morocco would be affected thereby. Residence in foreign parts does not affect the nationality of Moorish subjects. And the Moorish government has no means of protecting its subjects permanently residing in other countries. So if you permanently reside somewhere, we can't protect you. Right? With the exception of so-called Moorish consul at Gibraltar and a Moorish agent at Cairo, Egypt. So now all y'all like, well, how can you be a Moroccan government? Same way there is a North Korea, South Korea, North Sudan, South Sudan. Same way that there's a Republic of China in Taiwan, etc. Nationality don't change. We can operate by blood anywhere, and establish our own government where we are, right then and there. All it takes is a what? Social compact to assemble and establish the public authority. That's all you got to do, family. That's all you got to do, family. I hope you understand what I'm telling you guys today. If you don't, keep reading. Let this marinate. Pray over it. Let God guide you. But until then, y'all know I got to play one of my favorite songs. I rest my case. That is true sovereignty.
Someone to count on.
answer. Now the question is what you gonna do with it. Now, let me show y'all this. Y'all ready for some more? Drop some ones if you're ready for some more. Some of y'all done already left already, so you're about to miss it. We getting ready for the benediction. Are you ready for some more? Let me know. Got a little time today. You ready for some more? All righty, let's do this then. Y'all say y'all ready for some more. 8 USC Code 1481, loss of nationality by native-born, naturalized citizen, voluntary action, burden of proof, and presumptions. So, it says a person who is a national of the United States, whether by birth or naturalization, shall lose his nationality by voluntarily perform any of the following acts with the intention of relinquishing United States nationality. Obtaining naturalization in a foreign state upon his own application or upon an application filed by a duly authorized agent after having attained the age of 18, or taking an oath or making an affirmation or other formal declaration of allegiance to a foreign state or a political subdivision thereof after having attained the age 18 years, or entering or serving in an armed force of a foreign state. Such armed forces are engaged in hostilities against the United States, or such persons serve as commissioned or non-commissioned officers. Okay? So, and it says accepting, serving in, or performing the duties of any office, post, or employment under the government of a foreign state or a political subdivision thereof after attaining the age of 18 years, if he or he has acquires the nationality of such foreign state, or accepting, serving in, performing the duties of any office or employment under the government of a foreign state or a political subdivision thereof after retaining the age 18 years for which the office, post, or employment, oath, affirmation, or declaration of allegiance is required, and making a formal renunciation of nationality before a diplomatic or consular office of the United States in a foreign state as well, or making in the United States a formal written renunciation of nationality in such form as may be prescribed and before such officer as may be designated by the Attorney General whenever the United States shall be in the state of war, and the Attorney General shall approve renunciation as not contrary to the interests of national defense as well. So they just told you, when the loss of United States nationality is put in issue in any action or proceeding commenced or after September 26, 1961, under or by virtue of the provisions of this chapter or any act, the burden shall be upon the person or party claiming that such loss occurred to establish such claim by preponderance of the evidence. Any person who commits or perform or who has committed or performed any act of expatriation under the provision of this chapter or any act shall be presumed to have done so voluntarily, but the presumption may be rebutted upon a showing by a preponderance of the evidence and that the act or acts committed or performed were not done voluntarily. All y'all got to go do is put in loss of nationality, United States. Just Google it. It'll pop up for you. But there you go. So, well, when we do stuff like this, it's simple. Because tonight. So when we do stuff like this, like what I'm finna show you, Morris National Republic of Peace State Oath. I hereby declare an oath that I absolutely, entirely renounce, abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, continent, secret organization, state, or sovereignty of whom or which I have hereto been a subject or citizen, that I will support, defend the Constitution and laws of Morris National Republic of Peace against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of MNRP when required by law, that I will perform non-combatant services in the armed forces of MNRP when required by law, and that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by law, and that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me, Father of the universe. This oath is executed under the laws of MNRP, and the day that it is, thumbprint, etc., sign off, signed by myself, and there's our seal. And there you go. That's actually in the performance that I'm speaking to you guys of. Very simple. Is it clicking for you guys yet? That's what I want to know. Is it clicking for y'all yet? Yeah. Because we got to know, is it clicking for you yet? Come on, talk to me. Has it hit yet? Drop some ones if it is. Like, share, and subscribe. Y'all want me to keep going. I think I can go through one more little section before I get done. I'm kind of getting tired of talking. All righty. Y'all ready for some more? Let's go. It says, of the Constitution of a state and the duties and rights of the nation in this respect. So it says, we were unable to avoid in this first chapter anticipating something of this subject, something of the subject of this, right? We have seen already that every political society must necessarily establish a public authority to regulate their common affairs, to prescribe to each individual the conduct he ought to observe with a view to the public welfare, and to possess the means of procuring obedience. So in order to do this, the authority essentially belongs to the body of the society, but it may be exercised in a variety of ways, and every society has a right to choose that mode which suits its best. The fundamental regulation that determines the manner in which the public authority is to be executed is what forms the constitution of the state. In this is seen the form in which the nation acts in equality of body of politic, right? And how and by whom the people are to be governed, the consent of the governed. And what are the rights and duties of the governors? This Constitution is in fact nothing more than the establishment of the order in which a nation proposes to labor in common for obtaining those advantages with a view to which the political society was established. The perfection of a state and its aptitude to attain the ends of society must then depend on its constitution. Consequently, the most important concern of a nation that forms a political society and its first and most essential duty towards itself is to choose the best constitution possible and that most suitable to its circumstances. When it makes this choice, it lays the foundation of its own preservation. Let that sink in your mind for a little bit. Let's go back up to this. Why that sink in y'all mind? All men, when they form a social compact, are equal. Okay? All men, when they form a social compact, are equal. Now let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. So when it makes this choice, it said it lays the foundation of its own preservation, safety, and perfection, and happiness. So you can't be in the pursuit of happiness without doing this. It cannot take too much care in placing these on solid basis. The laws are regulations established by public authority to be observed in society. All these ought to relate to the welfare of the state and of the citizens. The laws made directly with a view to the public welfare are political laws. And in this class, those that concern the body itself and the being of the society, the form of government, the manner in which the public authority is to be extended, those in a word which together form the constitution of the state are fundamental laws. The civil laws are those that regulate the rights and conduct of the citizens among themselves. Every nation that would not be wanting to itself ought to apply its utmost care in establishing these laws. All right? And principally, its fundamental laws in establishing them, I say, with wisdom in a manner suitable to the genius of the people and to all the circumstances in which they may be placed. They ought to determine them and make them known with plainness and precision, to the end that they may possess stability, that they may not be eluded, and that they may create, if possible, dissension, right? That on the one hand, he or they to whom the exercise of the sovereign power is committed, and the citizens on the other hand may equally know their duty and their rights. It is not here necessary to be that discussion belongs to the public law and politics. Besides, the laws and constitution of different states must necessarily vary according to the disposition of the people and other circumstances. In the law of nations, we must adhere to generals. We here consider the duty of a nation towards itself principally to determine the conduct that it ought to observe in that great society which nature has established among all nations. All nations. All nations, right? These duty give it rights that serve as a rule to establish what it may require from other nations and reciprocally what others may require from it. Pay attention. Somebody said, "Oh, let's do the New York." It's the same. It's not going to be any different. In order for them to be established a state, they have to respect the equality of all other free states. Otherwise, they wouldn't be a part of the social compact. No member of the state shall be disenfranchised or deprived of any rights or privileges secured to any citizen thereof, unless by the law of the land or the judgment of his or her peers, except the legislature may provide that there should be no primary election held to nominate candidate for the public office of election, persons to party positions for any political party or parties in any unit representation of the state from which such candidates or persons are nominated or elected whenever there are no contests or a contest for elections prescribed by general law as well. So let's just keep reading. We can find and keep going. You got the freedom and worship of religions, habeas corpus. You also got grand jury. Let's see, equal protection of laws, discriminations prohibited. No person shall be denied, meaning government, and equal protection of the laws of this state or any subdivision thereof. No person shall, because of race, color, creed, or religion, be subjected to any discrimination in his or her civil rights by any other person, government, or by any firm, corporation, institution, or by state or any agency subdivision of the state as well. Still saying the same thing. They only respect moral persons. That's it. Nothing else. That's all they ever gonna respect. Just so y'all know that. It's all going to say the same. Do they word it a little different? Absolutely. But still saying the same thing. They still have to operate from an international level. No matter what. And I'm pretty sure it's probably even more in their preamble. Yeah. It's a freedom. All free rights, other people. But just know that it's the same. You got to establish it. In order for them to know you a moral person, there has to be a constitution. There has to be justice upheld. It has to be a judicial system with equal protection for all men, with no form of discrimination based upon race, color, national origin, religion, or any of that nature. The constitutional laws of a state are the basis of the public tranquility, the frame and support of a political authority, and a security for the liberty of the citizens. But this constitution is a vain phantom, and the best laws are useless, right? If they be not religiously observed, the nation ought then to watch very attentively in order to render them equally respected by those who govern and by the people destined to obey. To attack the constitution of this state and to violate its laws is a capital crime against society. And if those guilty of it are invested with the authority, they add to this crime I guess that's what I say, presidious abuse of the power with which they are entrusted. The nation ought constantly to repress them with its most vigor and vigilance, as the importance of the case requires. It is very uncommon to see the laws and constitution of a state openly and boldly opposed. It is against silent and gradual attacks that a nation ought to be particularly on its guard. Sudden revolutions strike the imaginations of men. They are detailed in history. Their secret springs are developed. But we overlook the changes that insensibly happen by a long train of steps that are but slightly marked. It would be rendering nations an important service to show from history how many states have thus entirely changed their nature and lost their original constitution. This would awaken the attention of mankind, impressed thenceforward with the excellent maxim, no less essential in politics than in morals. They would no longer shut their eyes against innovations which, though inconsiderable in themselves, may serve as steps to amount to higher and more pernicious enterprises. So the consequence of a good or bad constitution being of such importance, and the nation being strictly obliged to procure as far as possible the best and most convenient one, it has a right to everything necessary to enable it to fulfill this obligation. It is then manifest that a nation has an indisputable right to form, maintain a perfect this constitution, to regulate I guess that's supposed to be pleasant or pleasure, to regulate at pleasure everything to relating to the government, and that no person can have a just right to hinder it. Government is establishing only for the sake of the nation, with a view to its safety and happiness. Right? The same thing. Bro, I will break it down for you later, but I'm really I don't feel like going down reading all of their constitution just to pick out and find, because as you can see, but I ain't here to argue with nobody about it. Whatever y'all think, either do it or you don't. Simple. Main thing is you ain't got a law. Period. You don't got it. So that's one of the main things, right? You don't have it. You don't got it, guys, and you might want to get it. ASAP. Soon as you can. And if you don't, well, just know you're gonna be forever subjected. Always. Always. And they want you to know that. So, hope you guys learned something from this tonight. I am really on the tired side. We've been on here, 2 2 hours today. So I want you guys to really get and gain an understanding of this. For all of y'all that wants to know what I'm reading for or from, here you go. Here you go. Where it go? This is what I'm reading from. The Law of Nations, or Principles of the Law of Nature, applied to the conduct and affairs, nations, and sovereigns. Now, first of all, I like Turkish people are Turks by blood. So we're gonna say, and I like to use them because I watch a lot of stuff, a lot of old movies and stuff like that from the Turkish. I'm not even gonna say they're old because they're actually making them now, but they deal with the Ottoman Empire and so forth on. But the Ottoman are Turks, and then you had the Germanian, who are Turks, two different separate states. You had the Seljuk state, which were Turks, still Turks. So when you talk about nationality, a certain blood of people, there can be many different forms of government, as well as there were many different forms of tribes here in America. Still same by blood, but just different tribe. Whether you want to say Seminoles, which were mixed of many different tribes, but who came and formed that particular government. You have the Washita, you have the Blackfoot, you have so on, right? Cherokee, and the White, however you want to say it. You know, it's so many more. The Wichita, Washita, Muskegee. Come on, name some more. Like, they're all are different in nature because of custom. Customs is what makes you different in nature, because there are different things about people, different beliefs in people on how things should be done, traditional wise, etc., based upon the cause of which this particular tribe stands for, whatever the case may be. It's the same, right? You can look at, like we say lions are lions, but certain lions can't go run with another pack of lions because they probably will kill it, because you don't belong here. You're not of us. You're not a part of this government, this pride, what they call it. You're not a part of it. And if you're not a part of it, you know, this is it. So this is why I say, like, nationality can only be declared by a government. You can't just, I'm finna go put my nationality on the record. No, you just stated your blood descent. A government declares your nationality. Always. This is not something you do as by yourself, individuals. It happens by people. So again, I say to the black man, what law do you have for all other nations to respect? You can't scream equality and you don't have what you're supposed to have. That's a fact. So, love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Hope y'all enjoyed this. My academy will go up starting Monday. So that will be up fully. You guys will be able to go and enroll in that. Yes, you do not have to pay all of it at once. It will allow you to do payments for you, etc. So you can do installments and stuff like that. But anyway, that's just for those who are interested. And as well as, what else do I got going on? Oh, work sessions will start back up in April. So around probably the first Wednesday in April, we will get started on work sessions. So, but yeah, man, take this to your family, man. Share this with them. Let them see. I'm going to leave this up. So you guys can definitely share this with your family. And anybody think different, hey, let them think. But I guarantee you they can't answer the question of where you can't scream equality without a government. And that's a fact. And if you go back and look, like, we want equality. If you want it, you don't ask for it. You get it. Because you decide to preserve for yourself. Like, listen, even as grown-ups right now, you don't want to take care of nobody. Y'all get rid of people because y'all got to take care of somebody. Think about that. Just a natural thing. If you got to take care of somebody so long, you start looking at them like, damn, man, you ain't got nothing on the rent. You ain't got nothing on the food. You ain't got nothing on the drink. You ain't got nothing. You're paying their way in the clubs and all that type. Think about it. It's the same thing. Dang, y'all can't set up your own businesses. Y'all can't set up your own government. You can't preserve your own people. We got to keep doing special needs programs for y'all. That's why y'all hollering about this DEI shit now, because you can't take care of yourself. It's the same thing. Nobody wants to continue to take care of you. Even a child wants to do stuff by themselves because they understand that natural instinct and the law of nature is to preserve self as much as they possibly can. Why is it that you couldn't wait to get out the house to go and be and live your life, but you can't understand that to relieve yourself from being up under being a subject or under the control of others? Why you don't see that? It's in your face. Straight up. Peace, love, and law. Y'all have a great one.